hyphen is hard to do. It's just one of those things that needs to be done. I saw somewhere, someone was talking about a loved one, maybe they were giving a eulogy, and they mentioned the hyphen between the two dates. They talked about what it means, and the person went on and on about how the hyphen holds all the stories and memories of a person's life. Over the past couple of weeks, I think about that hyphen and that video. I can't remember where it was from. When I look at the hyphen, I think, well, malarkey. I mean, I know it's symbolic, it's just symbolism, but it couldn't possibly hold the story of Greg. I mean, for example, the hyphen is actually smaller than the chip Joey put in Greg's tooth. Greg was always a mischievous kid. Some say a free spirit, some probably said crazy. Actually, I said crazy. He was nuts. Greg was always getting into shenanigans. I'm going to start with a couple stories that I heard because I may not have been born yet. The first one is the time that our father was up tarring the roof. And while, as I've been told, Dad was afraid of heights. Well, he was up there doing his thing, and he turned around and looked to see that Greg had climbed the ladder and started tarring himself. He was about 5 years old. Then after that, maybe a couple of years, Greg and Joe were there. Joe had just finished a Little League game. Dad had to run to the grocery store, and Joe and Greg were left in the car. Now, this is a time where kids could be left in hot cars. So Greg, I don't know, got impatient and said, well, maybe we'll just meet Dad at home. So he found a plastic fork, stuck it in the ignition, tried to turn and stop the car. Obviously the fork broke. The three of them proceeded to walk home with all the groceries. Speaking of Little League, I'll say this. Greg was a talented kid. I remember watching him play baseball. He was good. He had a natural ability to hit baseball. Kid was fast too. His little league team was Police and Fire, a team that he showed lifelong commitment to. Joking aside, Greg was a hell of an athlete. Me, on the other hand, I couldn't hit water if I fell out of the boat. The reason why is because I was afraid of the baseball. Why was I afraid of the ball? Right, that's why. We would play pickup games in the backyard over here. Mom would say, you kids let Dennis play. So Greg would pitch and say, all right, Ken, you get up. You get to be up until you get a hit. Well, now, we've already established Greg was impatient. So around pitch 4, 5, be a fastball right in the middle of my back. I'd run off crying, the game would resume without me. And then I'd be in the house playing with myself while everyone else was having fun. Now, forgive me for saying that, but if I didn't tell a story that way, my brother may have mentioned something. I remember one summer we were at Uncle Joe's cottage in Mattapoisett. We were having a clam bowl, and us kids were at the picnic table waiting on hot dogs, and Grammy had come over and sat with us. She said, any of you kids know who Joseph of Arimathea was? Greg said, Jesus, the drug dealer? We were all shocked. Grammy thought it was hilarious. While camping one summer at Plymouth, maybe Cow, I don't really remember, I was riding on the crossbar of Greg's bike and his hat blew off. It's all right. And instead of stopping the bike to get it, he just jumped. And I obviously crashed. My foot went through the spokes, and I was barefoot, and I thought I lost my big toe. Now, on that same camping trip, Greg had caught a sunfish. Now, he grabbed the sunfish by the tail and smacked Matt right across the face with it. It looked like something out of a Saturday morning cartoon, it really did. But Matt had to go to the hospital and have fish scales removed from his face. Greg had a genius side to him. Looking back on him, I'm surprised he wasn't a member of Mensa. One night, boy genius said, hey, let's go for a ride. It was snow and he thought it would be a good time. What was I supposed to say? No, I was 6, which made Junior Einstein about 12. We went for a ride up and down South Main Street here, slipping and sliding in the snow. He pulls the car into the driveway, through the carport, and up into the barn. As he's pulling into the barn, he slid and hit the door jamb and got stuck. Right at that moment, headlights come in the driveway behind us. He turned to me, looked me right in the eye. He said one word: run. So in my feety pajamas, I ran right to the house. I spent a lot of time with Greg. We've done a lot of work at my house, from basic yard work to completely stripping inside my house, installing new windows, all of which we had to figure out how to do. He was always willing to help. And I'll say this: if you want anything painted, find somebody with OCD. I hate painting. It's fairly easy, but I just hate doing it. Greg enjoyed it. Honestly, you just tell him what to paint, leave him to it. Well, a couple of years ago, we painted my kitchen. And even though it was my house and I was the one paying, Greg was the foreman on the job. We did the ceilings first, then the walls, and Greg said, "Hey, just let me do all the cutting, and you follow in behind me with the roller." Well, I said, "Well, why don't I do above the cabinets?" Because I knew if blue paint got my brand new white cabinets, I would have been mad. So Greg said with a crooked smile, "All right, don't foul up." About 20 minutes later, Greg looked over at me and got off his ladder and said, "Dude, what the hell are you doing?" Heck, I actually had heck written inside. I looked down at the cabinets. I said, "I don't see any paint." I said, "What? I'm doing fine." He goes, "Yeah, come down here." I climbed down the ladder and looked up, and I had gotten paint on the ceiling in like 5 different spots. Greg got a rag and told me to go get the ceiling paint. He cleaned up my mess and repainted that part of the ceiling again. We laughed hard. I don't remember finishing the job, but I do remember was laughing our butts off the rest of the day. And he even said to me, he goes, "Hey, why don't you take a break and go get us some lunch?" Greg had an ability that not many people have. Well, at least I don't. He could talk to anyone, seriously. Complete strangers at random times and places, and I've joked with him about it. How did you not get kidnapped as a kid? Did Mom ever have the stranger danger talk with you? And I teased him, "Dude, you've been returned in like 10 minutes. He goes, "Yeah, no way Mom was paying ransom." In stores, he talked to checkout people for like 10 minutes, and I'd say, "Greg, we don't have time for this, let's go." And he didn't care about making a scene either. If he set his mind to making someone laugh, it didn't matter where he was or who he was around. A few months ago, I had a garage built, and I needed to go to Lowe's for some stuff. When we got there, he said, "I'm gonna have a smoke, I'll meet you inside." The place was packed. 15 minutes later, I hear him from across the store. "Yo, Den, where you at? Yo, has anybody seen my bro? Yo, Denny Den." I just looked at the floor and asked, "Why me, boy?" He sees me and yells, "I found him!" I can still see him walking up the aisle. "Dude, did you hear me?" We couldn't stop laughing. Uncle Dennis got Greg into helping people at my brother's keeper a few years ago. Greg loved it there. He said the people there were just so nice to him. He told me that he really enjoyed helping the less fortunate. And of course, I made the stupid joke, "Really? You found someone less fortunate?" We laughed. He said, "Seriously, it feels good to help you." I said, "I know. Who do you think your keeper is?" Again, a big laugh. Greg had a big heart. Everybody who met him loved him, or at least liked him. He made people laugh, or at least smile. He had a kindness about him that I admired. As a kid, Greg played the drums. He didn't stick with it mainly because Big Ma liked the noise. As an adult, though, he became the greatest air drummer on the planet. Seriously. If you've ever ridden a car with him, you know what I mean. If a Rush song or a Pink Floyd song came on, forget about it. He would just sit there doing his best Neil Peart, banging away at an imaginary drum kit. Now, if you were driving in the car with him, and while this was going on, 2 things enter your mind. 1, if I put him in front of a real drum kit, could he play this? I think he might. 2, what are those people next to us thinking when they see this? Oh, he's special? It was really a sight to see. I could stand up here all night and tell stories about Greg. We all could. Greg was a son, a brother, a father, a grandfather, an uncle, a nephew, and a friend. I know his family was the only thing that mattered to him. He absolutely loved spending time with John, Kristen, Jackson, and Savannah. He told me a story about playing with his grandkids and he had that big crooked smile on his face. He loves spending time with all of us. Whatever it was, a holiday, a game night, a birthday party, a fishing trip. He thought of it as making up for lost time. When Greg was in college at Shirley State, When Greg was in college at Shirley State, he would ask us to write to him. Now, this was before email and computers really weren't in the budget. I've written Greg one final letter that I'd like to share with you. Dear Greg, stuck my foot in my mouth again. I told the boys I wanted to do your eulogy. Kevin said I wouldn't be able to get through it. As I typed this, I think there's about a 50-50 shot. I have been blessed in my life. I have been gifted 4 older brothers that I've always looked up to. I didn't just lose one of my brothers, I lost one of my 4 best friends. I'm having a hard time processing all of it. The pain I feel is sometimes unbearable. I know I will be okay because I know you are okay. When the 5 of us did our Bible study a couple of years ago, I know that you brought closer to Jesus. You and I have had multiple conversations about belief and faith, and I know in your own way you accepted Jesus in your life. You asked me a couple of times about forgiveness, and I know you struggled with your own forgiveness. You carried a lot of shame, and it was a personal struggle. I remember telling you that Jesus paid the price and the debt was paid. I told you that if you accept Jesus and believe in him, that all would be forgiven. Then you looked at me and said, boy, I wish the state was like that. Someone once told me how to process forgiveness. He said that if you think about the wrong that was done, and you no longer feel pain or anger, then you have forgiven. It seems pretty simple, in reality I know it wasn't. But I remember talking about all of it in my book. You were trying to make sense of the past, and I remember saying the past is the past. I also told you that God doesn't put anything on you that you can't handle. Also, the toughest battles go to the strongest warriors. I remember you laid me that look again, and you said, hey God, can I get a break? I told you, he also gave you free will. Most of that you can't put on him, and you quickly said, well, there's always a loophole. I remember reminding you how Pastor John used to say, God never promises it's going to go well, but he promises it's going to end well. I went down the YouTube rabbit hole the other day, video after video. 3 hours later, I came away with a little bit of peace in my heart. After 3 hours of mind-numbing stupidity on the internet, I can only remember 3 specific videos. The first video wasn't that important, but dude, did you know that the new lead singer of Journey is from the Philippines and he doesn't speak English unless he's singing a Journey song? It's pretty good. Almost as good as Steve Perry. The second was an interview of Billy Bob Thornton. In the interview, he was talking about how he lost his brother. He said that since his brother had died, his life was full of melancholy. That he was about 50% happy and 50% sad. He said the pain that he felt would never go away. He said that was okay because that's how he wanted to honor his brother. With due respect to old Billy Bob, I need to disagree. I need this pain to go away. I know you wouldn't want me to carry pain. And I want to treat my grief like I do forgiveness. When I think of you now, I get emotional. Soon I'll be able to think of you and feel joy. I'll smile or laugh instead of cry. That's how I choose to honor your life. Because you are worthy of that honor. The third video was a verse of me singing, I Can Only Imagine. Obviously the song made me weep like a child. Then something else happened as I listened. The verse of the song, will I dance for you, Jesus, or in awe of you be still? When someone listens to that song, they actually imagine what meeting Jesus is going to be like. I know you met him, and I want to know what it was like. I can't help picture. You walk into Jesus, like, yo, JC, my man. They give him a big hug. I imagine Jesus holding you and saying, welcome. And you finally believing that you are. Greg, you fought a tough battle. You've been through things that many people can't imagine. I've always admired your strength and perseverance. I've always looked up to you, big brother, but now I'll literally just look up. I refuse to say goodbye. For now, I'll say rest easy, my friend. Until we meet again, I say hi to Mom and Dad. When it's my turn to meet Jesus, I look forward to seeing you as well. Maybe you can show me around the yard. Pick out a good fishing spot for us. I love you, bro. Love them.